was decent.
Time to reset. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so I'm gonna be a lot safer in this run. A lot safer. I'm gonna talk less. I just want this run to finish now. So I'm going to be doing everything in my power to make sure that this run finishes. That's the first time I've died on hard in a long time. And I did practice before this run, so that's not the reason why I died. I think the reason why I died is because I was just too cocky. I was just too arrogant. I was just too flippant. Just a lot of stuff. But we should be fine. An hour 30 should be fine. There shouldn't be any issues with, I might go over by a few minutes, but other than that, yeah, we should be able to finish this run within the time frame. Oh yeah, I know I have this. It's just that in the later fights, I'm gonna be a lot quieter, and actually focus on the run. I was just talking too much. So this is Dungeon Hearts. It's a action RPG puzzle game, match 3, and it is a very fun game. It's available on Steam for $5, roughly. I actually don't know exactly how much this costs right now, but regardless of that, if you want to pick it up, you can. The skull and crossbones are the enemy attacks, and once they reach the white circles over here, you take damage, which you don't want to have happen too much in this difficulty. $3 Canadian, so roughly $5 then US. Actually, no, that's like $1 US. Because Canadian currency is more than U.S. currency. I think it's like, I don't know the conversion rate. But one sec, I'm gonna take a drink. Okay, thanks for that information. I did not know that, but as you can see, if you combine 3 of the same color Hero Striker, you get a Super Striker, which is a super attack, which destroys everything on the screen. Also, a lot of hero abilities do the same thing, where it destroys everything on the screen. I use those abilities to make sure that to get rid of everything on the screen when I'm in trouble, which you saw in the previous run. That was our previous attempt. That was not a good attempt. But we're on to a new attempt, and I am going turbo speed now. Yeah, the reason why it doesn't cost a lot is because it's been out for like 7 years now. And I actually bought it like within a year of it coming out. I didn't buy it the same year it came out, but I did buy it within a year of it coming out. In case you're wondering what the numbers mean next to the the numbers that appear sometimes when I deal an attack, that is a combo, and that means that I it's a damage multiplier. That's all it is. The more colors and more hero strikers are in an attack, the more damage you do, like that. Whenever you see characters, the big animation with characters appearing on screen, that means that the damage was particularly devastating to the enemy, and that means that it dealt a decent, pretty large amount of damage. Pretty soon we're gonna get squares, which cannot be moved, and those are the only things that. So these are squares; they cannot be moved. And soon we will also get enemy. We will also get enemy attacks that cannot be moved. That'll probably happen within a fight or two. So this, one thing I didn't mention in the previous attempt was that the more enemy attacks are thrown at you, the less HP that opponent has. So this opponent is throwing a lot of enemy attacks at me, which means he has less HP. Okay, I am getting rid of that because that was a very, very bad situation. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the hero's first ability. The red hero is the fighter, the yellow hero is the mage, the blue one is the healer, and the green one is the buffer or the archer. So, yeah. So all of the heroes, all of the fighters' abilities are timed. So for his abilities, I generally just mash his abilities. Mash the left arrow button because that is the easiest way to get as many. That's the best way to get as many extra damage hits as possible for that particular. Those particular types of abilities. So another thing to mention is that the number in the swords is that number that is in the swords is the equivalent to the number of fights left, but you have to add 1 to that for the final boss. You do not deal more damage when hitting multiple skulls, that I know of. I haven't noticed any additional damage that you deal when that happens. Here's a nice and easy setup to get that. Then we can just do that, and we get that. So that's something that is really important to do, is because the super strikers are really good. Now we have the addition of hexes. Hexes are the hexagonal shape enemy attacks. They are always hexagons. And they can always be moved. They will never appear in. They will never appear as squares. They can also be. They can also take more than 1 hit. They can take up to 3 hits to destroy. And this time, I'm going to make sure that I get to the final boss. Because the final boss is something that I need to show off for this game, because the final boss music is absolutely amazing. Anyways, we're coming up to the first boss, which is the first gatekeeper of the run. So first gatekeeper of the run, if I get the big dinosaur, I'm going to be quiet for the entire duration of the fight, because that enemy is extremely dangerous. One thing I should have mentioned is whenever the screen freezes, like you've seen many times by now, that is when I hit another of the same color striker, hero striker, and that means that our hero charger, and that means that it just creates, like, creates a little bit of stop time that I can work with, and that it just helps helps deal with the quickness of the Fate stream. Anyways, that enemy's done, and let's see which first boss we get. I also do want to mention that timing for this game is in-game. Reason for that is simple. The final results screen shows your in-game time. And I will let you know. Okay, dinosaur, quiet time. Oh my god. Yeah, that is how dangerous that enemy is. That boss is very dangerous. And I got him twice in a row. Actually, I don't think there are any sensitivity options in this game. So the sensitivity has to come from your mouse. Anyways, during that fight, you might have seen that there were enemy attacks that took 3 hits to destroy. That is the thing, and I'm starting to miss a lot of really easy movements. Yeah, as I was saying, yeah, the only sensitivity options you can change are how fast the options on your mouse. If your mouse has the ability to change how fast it moves, I think it's the deep some term, D something term. How fast it moves. If you have one of those types of mice, then yes, you can do that. Otherwise, there's no sensitivity options in game. So far this run's going quite a bit smoother than the last run. The only thing that was harder was the first boss. And the second boss could also be harder depending upon which one we get. If we get one of the hard second bosses, then things can also get messier with that boss. But actually, none of the second bosses are that hard. The only reason why there are 2 downsides to this game. One is it gets repetitive very quickly. And the second is since it was ported from a mobile, you have that glitch. That makes it really hard sometimes to grab things and pull them and click things. Yeah, those 2 things are really like not good things about this game. Didn't get that in time, so gonna have to heal or resurrect. Yeah, this game is very fun. But I'm gonna focus now, so be right back. I'll be back in a little bit. Okay. So they were starting to be some issues in that fight, so I just decided to not talk for the rest of that fight, because that fight was starting to really go south. Thankfully, I was able to recover very quickly, and that's just how this game is. Sometimes you have to pull off some pretty ridiculous recoveries in order to survive. We are coming close to the second boss. We still are a ways away, though. It's going to be a couple of minutes, a couple of fights left until we get to that fight. This fight isn't terrible. It's just one of those ones that throws a lot of enemy attacks at you. Other than that, it's not that difficult to deal with. The more enemy attacks they throw at you, the less HP they tend to have. There are some exceptions to that rule, but there aren't too many exceptions to that rule. They're more late game enemies that are the exceptions to that rule. Okay, we're done with that. I've never played the mobile version, nor am I going to, because I consider this to be the superior version, regardless of the flaws it has. I still consider this version to be better than the mobile version. I mean, I've seen the mobile version, mobile gameplay, and it's just pretty much the exact same. It's just, I just think it's a bit harder because you're dealing with it on mobile. Yeah, I'm playing a lot more cautiously than I did last run because last run failed. So I'm trying to make sure that this time it does not fail, because I do want you guys to see the final boss. Okay. So we're getting close to second boss. Second boss is only 2 or 3 fights away now. During this part, where this is where you level up your heroes. You don't want to miss any of those because it makes things a lot harder later on. There we go. The rune that I got hit with was the blind rune. It just lowers accuracy. It's not that big of a deal. Okay, we're good now. That was actually, can also be a very dangerous fight. It just depends on how irregular the patterns are, because the patterns starting around here get to be very irregular. It mainly focuses around the enemy chargers, which are the gray chargers. These, because those are the things that really block you. Okay, we're good. Finally got out of that mess. And there we go. Starting to get a lot of damage in. Holy shit, that did a lot of damage. Sorry. I was not expecting that amount of damage from that attack. Like I don't have the money to actually donate to a swear jar. I already donated, I already gave 100 bits anyways. Yeah, I gave 100 bits already at the beginning of my run. Okay, I lost 2 there. Here's a different boss. Here we go. So, let's see what happens here. Oh, okay, this boss. Yeah, this boss is also super easy. Because I can do that. And get 2 of them. Yeah, so this is another really, really, really easy second boss. Yeah, the first 2 bosses have 2 different variations to them. You can get one of 2 different bosses, or 3. I think this one you can get 3. But most of them you can, most of them is just 2. This boss is not that bad. Because he just gives, like the other one, he gives you a lot of chances to attack and make superchargers, which are made by combining 3 of the same colors, 3 of the same color hero charger. Like, okay, not like that. Apparently I clicked on it when I'm pretty sure I didn't. Oh well. That's fine. Alright. So, bosses just have a lot more HP than their regular counterparts. That's pretty much the only difference. Other than that, they tend to have the same patterns. Sometimes have the same patterns as their regular normal counterparts. Although this one's normal counterpart is completely different than this boss is completely different than the other one. Okay, get that down there. Then I can do that. He's almost dead. Because this boss is a bit harder than the previous one we fought. But other than that, this boss is just super easy. That was close. We almost got hit with a fast forward. And that would have been very deadly. Okay, second boss down. So that's the second gatekeeper. That can be the second gatekeeper of the run. There is one of those bosses that is fairly difficult. We didn't get him either time, which is really good, because that boss that one is fairly dangerous as well. I'm gonna miss another level up, so I've missed 3 so far. But now is when I'm going to start to focus more than I did the previous run. We are also running into the first, one of the first instances of enemy strikers in hero chargers. Try and say that 5 times fast. So they're pretty much stuff you have to deal with inside of other stuff you have to deal with. Poison, that's a bit dangerous. It just saps HP over time like any poison does. Okay, I'm gonna have to take damage down there, which is gonna almost kill that character, but it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna do this because that was starting to get too risky. But we're good now. So, we are 7 fights away from the final boss. And if I get a fight that I think is going to be difficult, then I'm going to just stop talking. So the pattern for this enemy is he likes to fill the center with a lot of stuff. That's the pattern with this guy. He goes back and forth between the center and the edges. Other than that, he's a fairly easy fight. It's just that sometimes things can get out of control very quickly. Yeah, wow, yeah, I like that too. The animations in general, like this game in general, is pretty well done for indie game, and an early indie game at that. Like this is like a 2014, 2015 indie game. So yeah. Most of the time I have answers for enemy attacks that get too close. Okay, so the rune up there is, I believe it's the it damages you and heals the enemy. Pretty sure that's that rune. Yeah, it just heals her. It doesn't heal her continuously like another rune does, but yeah, other than that, it's fine. This witch loves to throw a lot of the enemy strikers and hero chargers at you, like a lot of them. So that's her deal. Her deal is also to throw a lot of runes at hexes at you. I keep calling them runes. I don't know why. But good thing is she doesn't have that much HP. Like I said, so we're further than the previous run. Probably gonna go over an hour 30 at this. The amount of time I spent on the first run is probably 40 minutes, and so that means that I had 50 minutes to finish this run. I'm probably gonna go over by 5 minutes. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so I got most of my abilities. This enemy can also be very dangerous, depending upon which pattern she gives me. She is giving me an interesting pattern I don't think I've ever seen before. So this might be good, it might be bad. Let's see. It's going to be good because I'm going to get that off at least. We have the frost hex, the freeze hex again. For those of you who weren't here for the first run, the freeze hex basically makes it so that you can't do anything with that one character. Gonna get rid of everything with it. This hero skill. Again, this hero time, that is just a timing thing, so you don't have to worry too much about how good or how bad you do with that attack. Just gonna do that to get rid of that super armored pretty quickly. And she's done. So we got 6 left now, I think. I want to say we have 6 left, including the final boss. I think that was the 5th. That was the 6th fight out of all of them. Yeah. Yeah. I think we're gonna make it to the final boss this time for sure. Okay, we have 4 fights left. Bomb Hex. Bomb Hex is very, very dangerous. If it gets to the end of the Fate stream, you are going to get a full row of enemy chargers. And if you have an enemy attack in that row, that's what's going to happen, is you're going to get blown up, and that's whoever is there is going to get a lot of damage on them. This enemy also has a freeze hex too. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of that because that did not look like a very favorable. That was not a very favorable board. So I'm just gonna use that to get rid of it. That's the archer's abilities are kind of interesting. They're like a target game. And they debuff the opponents. That's pretty much it to her ability. I don't know what I don't know what all of the abilities are called either. I know what some of them are called, but I don't know what all of them are called. Get this over. Good. Was able to get that just in the nick of time. Shit. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna donate 100 bits for that. Apologies again. I'm not trying to do it, trust me. I'm just a little on tilt from the previous run, so please, Senpai-san, don't terminate my run. Yeah, I'll donate another 100 bits for that. I do have, like, enough money for that. Like, I'm trying to save money for a game, but I can spare the $1.40 to for that, because it does go to a good cause. Alright, 3 fights left. After this fight, I'm going to start to explain the final boss. Actually, I can start explaining him now. Final boss is called the Old One. He has many special abilities. He has... first special ability he has is he can vary the how fast and slow the Fate stream goes. He for example, he can make it go very slow, and even stop it to very fast. It just all depends on what he does. So yeah. He also has his own special hex called Nether Breath. That hex inflicts 3 different random hex effects on one character. It always is super armored, meaning it takes 3 hits to destroy. And it's always super armored, and its design is very noticeable. He has a lot of health, but he gives a lot of chances to attack. So overall, I would say he's a 3 out of 5 in terms of difficulty, but when we get to that point, I'm going to be quiet and like the whole stream is going to be quiet. So yeah, so, 'cause it's tradition for the it's just a tradition that I started that the entire that if when I do run it, that everyone's quiet for that fight. Anyways, we are quickly approaching that fight. This is the last fight before final boss. And this is a fight I do not see very often. One thing to note is that superchargers cannot be, super strikers cannot be moved because they're square. Figured I figured I would mention that now. Okay, getting closer. Okay, here we go. I will be back, and I will let you know when time is. And that's the final boss. So, this ending, I really don't know anything about this ending. So all your heroes disappear. My theory on what happens is, your heroes are sent into the future timeline where they go and fight it again. Fight the Dark One again. Anyways, time is going to be now. Time. So 53:06 is the official time. Any RTA doesn't matter for this game, so that's the official time. That is about 2:40 off of world record. So that was overall. That's a solid run. I just want to say thanks to Warwick for letting me run this game. If you're interested in running this game, you can find me on Discord, razorflame #0016. I will type it in chat. Also, if I stream fairly regularly. If you want to watch my stream, go there. And you can also find this game on speedrun.com. But yeah, if you're interested in learning the game, just contact me at razorflame #0016 on Discord. Anyways, I just want to thank Warwick for being flexible with me. I was not expecting that death at all. I was nearly 100% certain I'd be able to finish it without dying. But I do want to thank him for allowing me to do a second run, and I was able to show you everything this game has to offer. I do want to mention that if you love this game's soundtrack, the soundtrack actually comes with the game. So when you buy the game, you actually get the entire soundtrack for free. Anyways, thanks again for watching. This has been razorflamekun, and I will see you guys next time.